This is your WGBW Daily News Roundup for the Talk of Green Bay, 97.9 FM and 1590 AM.
Civic Media News. I'm Terry Bell. Here's what Wisconsin needs to know. The search for a missing 3-year-old boy in eastern Wisconsin is in its 7th day. Elijah Vu hasn't been seen since last Tuesday in Two Rivers. Police say they're concentrating their search on rivers in the city. Meanwhile, Elijah's mother and her boyfriend were in court on Friday on child neglect charges. A second person has been arrested in a hit-and-run crash that injured a Minnesota woman in southwest Wisconsin. Police in Westby say Robert Purvis is charged with first-degree reckless endangerment. Police say he was riding in the UTV that hit and seriously injured the woman earlier this month. Mitchell McKittrick was arrested soon after the crash. A lot of voters in Wisconsin will find themselves in new districts when it comes time to vote for state assembly and senate this fall. Local clerks say they plan to educate voters on which districts they now live in. Governor Evers signed new maps into law last week. He's asking the Wisconsin Supreme Court to look at redrawing Wisconsin's congressional district lines, too. A new report finds a shortage of mental health professionals in the U.S. Stanford psychiatrist Benjamin Miller was one of the lead authors of the report. He says the lack of enough professionals means more patients are at risk for relapse or readmission.
If there's no clinicians out there to do the work and we keep referring people into a system and there's just not enough people there to treat them, we got to solve that problem.
The report was released by the mental health advocacy group Inseparable. Inflation has changed the way Americans shop. Most consumers have spent any savings they built up during the pandemic. Now they're moving away from name brands to store brand items and buying more used vehicles than new. Economists say changing consumer habits are helping bring inflation down. On the other hand, people with lower incomes are charging more on credit cards and falling behind on payments. The FBI says Americans lost $350 million due to real estate fraud in 2022. Faith Kimbrough is a local official in Indiana. She recommends homeowners sign up for a free service to be notified about suspicious activity.
We cannot prevent it from happening. We will alert you to let you know that's happened, and then you can call us and you can, verify it.
All it takes to start the scam is a fake driver's license or a stolen Social Security number. I'm Terry Bell, Civic Media News. Now here's what you need to know closer to home.
Sunny, warm, and a little breezy today. We'll get to 55 this afternoon. The wind out of the southeast at 15 to 25, gusting to 30. Tonight, mostly cloudy, 40. Tomorrow, sunshine, 65. By Wednesday, a whole lot colder with scattered snow showers and a high of only 28. I'm meteorologist Sean Cable. Outside now, it's 35.
The Bucks are back. Hi, I'm Mike Clemens with sports. The Bucks with another decisive win, 119-98 over the 76ers. They beat the Timberwolves over the weekend, the top team in the West. Giannis, with 30 points, went live after the game on ABC TV.
Bobby Portis was also mic'd up, and he said the Bucks are starting to look like the Bucks again. Where would you say this identity is for this team under Doc Rivers at this point?
We got to keep on playing better. We got to keep on building good habits, and we just got to keep on playing hard. I think the last 2 games we've played hard, and that's who we are. When we don't play hard, we don't look like the Bucks. So I think Bobby's right. In the last 2 games we've played hard.
The Bucks host the Hornets tomorrow night. Baseball. Brewers with a 10-3 loss to the Rockies in Arizona. Manager Pat Murphy on his advice to his young team.
I always say, prepare to play good, treat yourself good. Which one do you think's the toughest? Treating yourself good. Kids, they still need help because they'll beat themselves up. They'll put their expectations so high. That's the part,
More games today and tomorrow, and then on Wednesday, the Brewers will face the Chicago Cubs and their new manager, Craig Counsell. Marquette with a win at home, 88-64 against Xavier. Cam Jones led the Golden Eagles with 34 points and talked about how loud their fans got during the game.
Basically, the crowd is a reflection of us at home and even on the road. So, the crowd is going to follow our energy, and the coach does a great job of, it's about us on the court and doing what we need to do, and then the crowd will follow, and we had the best crowd that I've ever heard.
Head coach Shaka Smart.
Really happy for Cam to get 34 points on his birthday. Tyler moving the ball around the way that he does is something that we'll never take for granted. I thought Stevie, again, spearheaded our defensive approach, which was really big. Our ability to switch, I think, was a big factor. They were hurting us on the glass early on, and that was something that we need to be better with. But I thought overall, really good defensive effort by our guys.
That's Marquette's Shaka Smart With sports, I'm Mike Clemens.
I'm Pete with the 60-second Showbiz Beat. Wisconsin native and 4-time Oscar-nominated actor Mark Ruffalo says there will probably never be a standalone Hulk movie. In the New York Post, Ruffalo said to do a Hulk-centric film would be too expensive, and that is why they picked their moments for the Hulk on screen. Ruffalo received his 4th Academy Award nomination for this year's Poor Things. After seeing a Twitter post about his new OnlyFans page, wrestling fans flocked to see even more of their hero and WWE legend, John Cena. Presumably, they were let down when they found out it was all a ruse, and the page was for that of a character Cena plays in the new film Ricky Stenicki. Did you really think you were going to see Cena wearing less than he usually wears? I mean, really, what do quote pro end quote wrestlers have against Bermuda shorts? Law & Order DA Jack McCoy is finally taking off his robe. Last Thursday was Sam Waterston's final episode of the long-running courtroom drama. Waterston started on the show as a prosecutor before becoming the Manhattan DA. He's been on the show for 19 seasons, dating back to 1994. His role will be filled by actor Tony Goldwyn. Sam Waterston appeared in a total of 405 episodes, which is close to the number of spin-offs Law & Order has produced. Speaking of spin-offs, HBO has announced they will produce a second Game of Thrones derivation. Collider announces that the latest GOT spin-off will be titled A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. Like the first offshoot, House of the Dragon, Hedge Knight will also be a prequel. The network says the show will debut in 2025. Wonka is headed for streaming on Max. The film, which stars Timothée Chalamet, tells the story of Wonka as a young man as he built his candy empire. The musical made over $600 million globally at the box office. It was directed by Paul King, who also directed Paddington 1 and 2. Wonka will be available to stream on Max on March 8th. For those of you looking to put on weight, help is on the way. Kentucky Fried Chicken is premiering the Chizza. That's right. You finally get the great taste of a slice of pizza smashed onto a piece of fried chicken. The totally pointless, unholy union that never needed to happen is real. Chizza was first introduced in the Philippines in 2015. If you're worried it won't take years off your life fast enough, you can also order fries and a drink and make it a combo. The Chizza is available February 26th. For more showbiz fun, tune in to Nightlight with me, Pete Schwaba, every night between 7 and 9 p.m. on the Civic Media Radio Network.
That's your WGBW Daily News Roundup from Civic Media. Subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you find your podcasts. Find more news at WGBW.FM.